you from Being Your It Can Be. Today, I'm coming to bring to you a topic about how to turn a problem into a gift. Now, the reason why this is so very important is because life can bring problems to us. Life can have a lot of challenges and problems. But the key is like, how can we bring this and turn this around so that actually benefits us and benefits those people around us? And that's what we're talking about today. Now, the other reason why this is important is because when challenges or problems arrive, they potentially can distract us. That can then potentially help us to, or lead us to lose momentum. And then also we lose our joy. Now, all of these things in combination, a lot of people actually then look out to outside themselves to fulfill their sorrow, their whatever, by drugs, alcohol, binge eating, gambling, binge Netflix, social media. There is so many ways, and these are addictions. So this is actually the reason why we need to talk about our problems and how to turn our problems into a gift or a benefit for us. And it's actually simple. It's not always easy, but it's simple. The story I want to bring to you is, and where I actually learned this was through Tony Robbins. And this was many, many years ago. And the story, this is what happened to him. And he said he was out on the road, like doing seminars months and months and months at a time. And one day he came back to his business and he found that someone very high up in his organization at the time embezzled $250,000. Now, at that time, that actually meant the difference between actually going into bankruptcy. Now, he turned that around, obviously, because he didn't go into bankruptcy. And it's from that time that led to all of the things, or the start of the things that he's actually doing today. It's a powerful story. And I'm thinking, I can apply this to my life. And you may also choose to apply this to your life as well. That's why it's so very, very important. So, how do we do this? And how did Tony Robbins do this? So basically, we've talked about the quality of our questions. We've touched on that briefly in other Facebook lives, but the quality of questions is actually a very key thing. So there's four steps to how do we apply this to our life. The first thing is the quality of our questions. The second thing is the change. This changes our mindset. This then changes our physiology, or our body, what's happening in our body. And this then leads into having objective or productive thoughts that come out and find solutions. So this is actually the four steps. So the first thing is like the quality of questions. So who knows that when we're in the middle of a problem, it can be like, we've either got a choice of disembowering question like, why does this always happen? It's happened again. Why does this always happen to me? That's a question that will take us down, down, down. The quality question of, what can I learn from this? The quality question that Tony Robbins actually asked himself was like, what's not perfect yet? How can I turn this around? So these are the type of questions that Anthony Robbins said to himself when everyone around him, so many people around him, were saying bankruptcy, that's all you can do. And he chose to look at questions like, how can I turn this around? What's not perfect yet? How can I enjoy this process while I find solutions? These are very, very important questions, particularly when there are challenges and problems that are facing us. And this system, or these things, can be applied to any situation in our life. The second thing that leads to then is it changes our mindset. All of a sudden, these questions start to ask the possibility of what could be possible. What's not perfect yet, that our brain starts to look through? What's not perfect yet? How can I enjoy this process while I find solution? Our mind starts thinking of all those things. So there is a massive change to our mind when we start to think and look at those positive, empowering questions. The next thing that does, it changes our physiology. Who knows that we're in the middle of a problem or frustration or anger, that when that is unresolved, when we allow that to control our body, we can, and it goes on and on and on for minutes, days, weeks, months, years, it can actually cause a massive change within us in a not a good way. So what this is all about is these empowering questions like what's not perfect yet? What can I learn from this? How can I do this differently next time? What that actually does do when it changes our mindset, it changes our physiology. All of a sudden, our mind starts to think clearly, our brain starts to switch on, we start to breathe differently, and there is different hormones that start to move through our body. Now, instead of going into the fight or flight sort of momentum, which is a survival mode, we now go into sitting back and going, right, what can I do about this? Which is more of a restful state. And that again is the change of physiology. When our breathing goes down to normal, taking deep breaths, this actually changes our physiology, and our brain goes, oh, so we're not fighting now. We're not running for our life now. We're actually, everything's okay now. And it brings everything back down to a place where we can think clearly, which leads to our next step, which leads to thinking about it's brainstorming, basically, brainstorming solutions, thinking objectively about the situation. So, friends, this is a very, very simple tool, but very, very, very powerful and something that you can apply to your own life. And I really trust and hope that you do this, as am I. Like, I want to catch myself when there is a challenge. I want to catch myself when there's a potential problem or frustration, to go, okay, empowering question. Okay, this is going to change my mindset. Okay, this is now going to change my physiology or my body. And now I can start thinking about some proactive ways to move forward. So, my friends, what if you and I both did this? How would the world be a different place? How would the people in our world be differently and be affected differently or impacted differently by us when we apply this simple technique? So, my friends, I trust that this has brought value to you today, and that next time that a situation arises, that this you'll go, yeah, I can do this now. I know how to empower myself to lead through into a successful and empowering way. So, my friends, my name is Kathryn Dodd from Being Or You Can Be. See you again real soon. Bye for now.